For the first time in 8 months, the vice foreign ministers of South Korea and Japan sat down for face-to-face talks in Seoul on Wednesday. But as our Hwang Sung-hee reports, the two diplomats made little headway in resolving the historical and territorial differences that have seen bilateral relations tumble to new lows in recent months.
After 3 hours of talks in Seoul on Wednesday, the vice foreign ministers from South Korea and Japan failed to make much progress on improving their frayed ties. South Korean Vice Foreign Minister Tae-yong stressed that Japan should refrain from revising history and work towards restoring trust by resolving the unsettled issue of its wartime sexual enslavement of Korean women. In response, Japanese Vice Foreign Minister Akitaka Saiki said his government maintains the historical perceptions of Japan's previous administrations. Tensions are high between the two neighbors. Seoul feels Tokyo has never officially compensated the so-called comfort women who were forced into sexual slavery during the Second World War. To this day, Japanese politicians consistently make negative comments about the elderly victims. The diplomatic row has taken its toll on the South Korean public's perception of Japan. Public sentiment on Japan is so low that a recent poll released by the Asan Institute for Policy Studies show that South Koreans perceive Japan as a bigger threat than North Korea. According to the Asan poll, more than 65% of the South Korean public feel threatened by Japan, larger than the 60% of the population that fear North Korea. The figure reflects Seoul's overall consensus on Tokyo.
And that, I'm sure, coincides with all the statements about comfort women, the increased attention that Japan is paying towards Dokdo. And so all of these things are starting to drive up these threat perceptions now.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is reportedly pushing to hold his first summit with his South Korean counterpart. But President Park Geun-hye is insistent she will not sit down with a leader who fails to acknowledge his country's historical wrongdoings. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News.